Chosen one, listen closely. This moment is not ordinary, and you are not here by accident. You are standing at the edge of a season that has felt long, heavy, and sometimes even endless. A single season where the silence has been louder than words, where the waiting has stretched your soul thin, and where you wondered if heaven had forgotten your name. But hear me clearly now, your single season is about to end. There is a divine shift in motion, one that has been written into the scrolls of time before you ever breathed your first breath. You may not see it yet, but the invisible hand of God has already started rearranging the pieces of your life. People are being moved, doors are being unlocked, and atmospheres are shifting to align you with the promise you've carried in your spirit for years. You feel it, don't you? That subtle pull in your soul, that sense that something is stirring, that the air itself feels charged with a quiet anticipation. For so long, you've been the one who waited in silence while others celebrated. You've carried your oil faithfully when no one noticed. You've prayed in secret when no one was watching. And every tear, every lonely night, every unanswered question has not been wasted. It has been stored in the treasury of heaven, waiting for this moment. The God who sees in secret is about to reward you openly. But before I reveal the 8 signs that confirm your single season is closing, I need you to grasp this truth. You were never meant to remain in waiting forever. This season has been preparation, not punishment. It has been about refining you, not rejecting you. And when God decides a season has served its purpose, nothing on earth, no delay, no opposition, not even your own doubts can stop what is already decreed. This is why you feel different right now. Something in your spirit knows that the wilderness is not permanent. Something in your heart whispers that the drought is ending. You have been hidden, yes, but hidden like a seed beneath the soil, not like a treasure forgotten in the dark. Hidden so you could sprout at the right time, at the right place, into the destiny you were always meant to carry. Chosen one, lean in. In the next moments, I will walk you through the very signs heaven is releasing as confirmation that your wait is over. 8 prophetic indicators that will resonate deep in your soul, proving that what you've prayed for is already breaking into your reality. And once you hear them, you will no longer question if your season is changing. You will know it. Your single season is closing, and your appointed time is beginning. You've carried this weight long enough, and now the heavens themselves lean closer to you. The message I bring is not born from human imagination or fleeting encouragement. It comes from the eternal voice that spoke light into existence. The same God who whispered galaxies into orbit has whispered this word into the marrow of your spirit. You can feel it like a vibration, subtle but undeniable, tugging at the corners of your awareness. This is not coincidence. This is not another passing thought. This is the divine pulling back the veil to remind you that your story has always been written by hands far greater than your own. When you prayed in silence, your words traveled beyond ceilings and walls. They entered the throne room. When you sighed in loneliness, your breath was collected like incense. Not one moment was wasted. Every fragment of your waiting was seen, documented, and folded into a divine timetable that cannot be broken. Right now, heaven is announcing something over you. The timing of this message is proof itself. You could be anywhere else, doing anything else, yet your spirit was drawn here. Why? Because you were meant to hear what others cannot. The call of God is not random, it is specific. He summons you, like he once summoned Moses from a burning bush, like he called Samuel in the night by name. You are being called because a transition is unfolding. Do you sense the shift? The atmosphere around you feels charged, as though destiny itself is exhaling. This is God's way of signaling that your appointed time is approaching, that the years of preparation have not been ignored, that your obedience, though quiet, has become thunder in the spiritual realm. There is a reason the waiting felt so long. Heaven has been aligning circumstances that go far beyond your understanding. What you couldn't see was that your steps were being ordered, even when they seemed delayed. The silence was not absence, it was orchestration. Every no, Every closed door, every unanswered prayer was part of a bigger design that only now is beginning to make sense. This is why trust has been demanded of you. Faith was not optional in this season, it was essential. Without faith, you would not have endured the refining fire, the lonely nights, the aching questions. Yet here you are, still standing, still believing. That persistence is your proof. Heaven has sustained you. And now, as the veil of waiting begins to lift, the Spirit of God testifies that your next chapter is already written in bold strokes of promise. You are not moving forward by accident. You are moving because heaven decreed it. Stay with me, because what comes next is not just poetic encouragement, it is prophecy. In the next breath, you will hear the unveiling. You will discover the blueprint of what God is placing before you, and why the ending of your single season has always been about more than just companionship. It has always been about destiny colliding with divine timing. The veil is lifting, and what once felt hidden in mystery is beginning to take shape before your eyes. For so long, you've walked through your days with an ache you couldn't fully explain, a quiet knowing that something was missing, a space beside you that no achievement, no distraction, no effort could ever fill. That emptiness wasn't punishment. It was prophecy. It was the mark of what was always coming, the divine partnership ordained for your life. Hear this with the weight it carries. Your single season is not ending by chance, but by decree. This next chapter has already been woven into your story by the author of time. And what you are about to encounter is not a fleeting romance or a temporary arrangement. No, this is covenant. This is heaven, answering your hidden prayers with a reality you never imagined could be yours. The Spirit is unveiling a union that carries purpose beyond the personal. You are not just being aligned with another soul for companionship, you are being aligned for assignment. Two threads, woven together by divine design, not merely to soothe loneliness but to ignite destiny. This is why the wait has been so long, why the process has demanded so much from you. Because what you are being trusted with is rare. It is holy. It is weighty. In visions of the Spirit, I see doors swinging open, not ordinary doors, but ancient gates of timing that have been sealed until this very moment. Behind them, I see the convergence of two journeys, two lives prepared in silence, two callings molded in fire. They have walked different paths, carried different scars, endured different trials, yet every step was leading to this intersection. Can you feel it? That stirring inside of you is not imagination, it is resonance. Your spirit knows what your mind cannot yet grasp, that the one prepared for you is moving closer, drawn not by human effort, but by divine magnetism. Just as the moon pulls the tide without resistance, so heaven is pulling the two of you together in perfect rhythm. But understand this, the prophecy is not simply about marriage, though marriage is the vessel. It is about multiplication. Where you once carried the burden alone, you will now carry it together. Where your prayers once felt like whispers in the dark, they will become thunder when joined in agreement. Where your impact was once limited by solitude, it will expand exponentially through unity. The partnership itself becomes a testimony that God orchestrates destinies in ways no human hand could manufacture. And here lies the mystery. Your season of singleness was necessary because the one ordained for you was not yet ready, and neither were you. The refining, the breaking, the shaping of your character was all part of preparing you to hold the weight of covenant without dropping it. Every unanswered question, every closed chapter, every night you cried, wondering if God heard you, it was all proof of His love. Because had He given you the promise too soon, it would have crushed you. Now, the shift has begun. Heaven is making room. You may notice subtle confirmations around you, dreams that carry unusual clarity, moments of divine interruption where your spirit feels an almost electric anticipation, encounters that feel too precise to be coincidence. These are glimpses of the prophecy unfolding. Don't be surprised if things in your life begin to accelerate relationships, opportunities, even unexpected conversations. The Spirit is positioning you, the stage is being set. And though it may look ordinary on the surface, beneath the fabric of time, the threads of destiny are weaving faster and tighter. Soon, you will see it with your own eyes. The waiting will no longer be theory, it will become testimony. And when it does, you will realize why it had to take this long, why the cost was so high, and why the blessing feels so overwhelming. Because when prophecy turns into reality, it doesn't trickle, it pours. Prepare yourself, because your life is about to change in ways you cannot measure. This is not a small shift, it is a divine unveiling. The covenant is near. Every prophecy carries within it not only a promise but a principle. The unfolding of your new season is more than a personal blessing. It is a mirror reflecting God's character, His timing, and His ways. To understand the depth of what is happening, you must look beyond the surface of companionship and into the eternal patterns of heaven. Seasons are the language of the Spirit. Just as the earth cycles through winter, spring, summer, and harvest, your soul has been carried through its own divine rhythms. The long nights of waiting were not endless, they were winter. The season where everything looks still, barren, and lifeless. Yet beneath the frozen ground, the roots grow deeper. That has been your single season, a hidden winter of strengthening. While the world around you may have looked vibrant, you felt like soil waiting for a seed. But what you could not see was the invisible work beneath the surface, God fortifying your faith, anchoring your identity, and refining your desires so that what comes next will not be wasted. Now, the prophecy speaks of spring. Doors are opening, opportunities blossoming, connections sprouting like green shoots after a long frost. Spring carries hope, but it also requires readiness. A farmer who does not sow when the ground thaws cannot expect a harvest. In the same way, the Spirit is urging you to recognize the moment, to step into alignment when the signs appear. Spring does not wait forever, it passes into summer, and the prepared reap what the watchful ignored. Do you see the meaning now? Your single season ending is not just about you. It is about God showcasing that He alone governs the times and seasons. No delay, no detour, no disappointment has the final word, only He does. And when He says, "It is time," it is time. That is why faith is your greatest weapon right now. Faith takes what is invisible and anchors it in your reality. Faith says, "Though I do not see it yet, I know it is coming." Faith carries you from winter into spring, from promise into fulfillment. The deeper meaning lies in covenant itself. Marriage, at its core, is not simply the joining of two people. It is the earthly echo of a heavenly mystery. It reflects Christ and His church, divine love poured into human vessels, eternity touching time through union. When God ordains a partnership, it becomes a testimony of His glory, not just a resolution to loneliness. That is why He has been so careful with your journey, because what He is aligning for you must reflect His nature. It must radiate His purpose. Think about the storms you've weathered, the betrayal, the false starts, the nights you asked, "Why not me? Why not now?" Each of those moments was a chiseling, shaping your heart so that when covenant comes, it will not be built on shallow soil. Many enter partnerships prematurely and crumble when the storm comes. But you, through fire and waiting, have been built to endure. Your roots run deep, your spirit carries weight. And the one who joins with you will recognize that they are receiving not just a partner, but a fortified vessel of God's presence. The prophetic meaning is this: your single season was never about absence, but about preparation. It was the sculptor's hand carving away what could not remain. It was the refiner's fire removing impurities. It was the potter shaping the clay until it could hold the water of destiny. You were not withheld from love. You were being prepared for love of a divine order. And now, the shift into fulfillment carries another layer of meaning: timing. Divine timing is never early, never late, always precise. Consider how stars align to form constellations. They are scattered across galaxies, separated by unimaginable distance, yet to the human eye they form perfect patterns in the night sky. So it is with your journey. You and the one prepared for you may have felt worlds apart, walking separate lives, carrying separate burdens. But now, timing brings your paths into alignment, and what once seemed random reveals itself as pattern. The depth of this prophecy is not just that your single season ends, but that it ends with purpose. What God joins together in this next chapter will ripple far beyond you, affecting families, communities, even generations. Your story becomes a testimony, a living parable of faith rewarded, of patience crowned, of divine timing made visible. So, stand in awe, not just of what is coming to you, but of the one who orchestrates it all. For he alone writes seasons, commands storms, and breathes life into promises long dormant. And now, the author of your story turns the page. When heaven moves, it rarely does so in silence. God speaks through whispers, patterns, and signs that echo in your spirit. If you've been sensing a shift, it is not imagination. The Spirit often releases confirmations ahead of manifestation, small clues that point to the larger promise already on its way. These signs are not coincidence, they are prophecy in motion. One of the first signs is an unusual restlessness. It feels as though the very atmosphere around you is too small for the weight of your spirit. You find yourself outgrowing old patterns, old desires, even old circles. The things that once satisfied now feel hollow, and you cannot quite explain why. This is not discontentment, it is preparation. Heaven is making room for what is coming, and your spirit senses it before your mind can. The second sign is divine interruption. Perhaps in dreams that carry clarity, or sudden thoughts that feel louder than your own. You may wake in the night with a sense that something or someone is drawing near. These moments are not random. They are deposits of foresight, designed to anchor you so that when the promise arrives, you recognize it. The third sign is acceleration. Things begin to move quickly, often in areas that once felt stagnant. Conversations appear out of nowhere. Opportunities open without warning, and alignments seem to click into place with uncanny timing. What once crawled, now run. This quickening is heaven's way of signaling that the season is shifting, that the long delay is giving way to rapid fulfillment. The fourth sign is confirmation through others. Without knowing your prayers, people may speak words that feel almost prophetic. A friend may casually mention something that aligns with what you've been waiting for. A sermon, a stranger's comment, even a song lyric may strike your spirit like lightning. These are not coincidences. They are echoes of what heaven has already decreed. The fifth sign is a release of peace. In seasons of waiting, anxiety often lingers. But just before the breakthrough, a strange calm settles over you. It is not that every question is answered, but that your soul feels anchored. Peace is always the fingerprint of God's timing. When you sense it wrapping around you like a mantle, know that the next step is already unfolding. And finally, the sixth sign, the sense of divine recognition. You may encounter someone or something that feels strangely familiar, as though your spirit has known them long before your eyes did. This is resonance, not chance. Your soul recognizes what heaven has appointed, and the familiarity is proof that what you are stepping into has been ordained. These signs are not meant to overwhelm you, but to reassure you. They are heaven's way of whispering, "Stay ready. The wait is nearly over. Look carefully, for they may already be appearing in your life." Every blessing carries weight, and every promise arrives with pressure. Before the fulfillment of your next season, there are challenges that may appear subtle at first, but designed to test the depth of your faith. These are not punishments, they are proving grounds. The gold must pass through fire before it shines. The vessel must be tested before it carries oil. One of the hidden challenges is doubt. Just when the signs begin to appear, the enemy whispers louder. You may find yourself questioning whether the peace you feel is real, Or if the anticipation you sense is just wishful thinking, doubt will try to choke the seed before it breaks the soil. But remember, doubt is a shadow that only exists because light is present. Its very appearance confirms that something real is unfolding. Another challenge is distraction. As you near your breakthrough, old patterns or even old relationships may resurface, tempting you to settle for less than what God has promised. It may feel easier to go back than to wait just a little longer. But understand, distractions always increase before destiny. They are decoys sent to keep you from the very thing you've prayed for. A third challenge is weariness. Waiting has already stretched you thin, and just as the promise approaches, exhaustion may tempt you to give up. You may feel like the finish line is too far, even though you are closer than ever. This is why endurance is so vital, because the greatest pressure often comes right before the breakthrough. The fourth challenge is opposition. Sometimes, as your season shifts, not everyone around you will celebrate. People may misunderstand you, misjudge you, or even envy the change they sense in you. Don't be surprised if resistance rises. Opposition is not proof you are off course. It is proof you are carrying something worth opposing. And finally, there is the challenge of patience in fulfillment. Even after the signs begin to manifest, the full picture may not appear immediately. Seeds sprout, but harvest takes time. God may show you glimpses, but He still requires you to trust Him step by step. This tension between the promise revealed and the promise fulfilled is where your faith must anchor deepest. These hidden challenges are not meant to break you, but to shape you. They test whether your faith is in the gift or in the giver. They refine your trust so that when the covenant arrives, it does not become an idol but remains a testimony. So, do not fear the challenges. See them for what they are, evidence that you are closer than ever. The shaking is not destruction, it is transition. The resistance is not denial, it is confirmation. When a season shifts, heaven doesn't just give a promise, it also gives an instruction. Without guidance, blessings can be squandered. Without alignment, divine timing can be missed. That's why in this moment, the Spirit doesn't simply want you to wait passively. He wants you to move with intentionality. These instructions are not burdens, they are keys. The first instruction is to stay anchored in prayer. Prayer is not only conversation, it is calibration. It aligns your spirit with heaven's rhythm, ensuring that when the moment comes, you recognize it. Do not let the weariness of waiting make your prayers grow faint. Instead, sharpen them. Speak life into your future. Declare alignment over your destiny. Call forth what God has already decreed. The second instruction is to guard your atmosphere. Be mindful of what and who surrounds you. In this sensitive time, your spirit is like fertile soil. Whatever enters it through words, company, or environments has power to plant seeds. Some seeds will grow into weeds of doubt or fear. Others will nurture your faith. Be deliberate. Choose voices that confirm the promise, not those that ridicule it. Protect your peace as fiercely as you protect your breath. The third instruction is preparation. Do not wait for the covenant to appear before you begin to prepare for it. Faith prepares in advance. That may mean healing lingering wounds, closing chapters that have no place in your next season, or even adjusting practical aspects of your life. Clean the room before the guest arrives. Tend the soil before the rain falls. Preparation is the proof of expectation. The fourth instruction is patience. This is not the kind of patience that simply tolerates delay. This is holy patience, the kind that trusts God's clock more than your own. When impatience tries to push you into compromise, remind yourself, delay is not denial. What is aligned with divine timing cannot be rushed, but neither can it be stopped. The fifth instruction is discernment. As doors begin to open, not every opportunity will be from God. The enemy knows how to create counterfeits, imitations designed to lure you away from the true blessing. This is where discernment becomes your shield. Ask God to sharpen your spirit. to let peace guide your choices and to reveal what is authentic from what is false. The sixth instruction is surrender. Even as the promise comes closer, resist the urge to control how it manifests. Your mind may imagine one path, but God may choose another. Release your grip. Trust His wisdom above your preference. Surrender does not mean passivity. It means allowing God's will to prevail, even if it looks different than you envisioned. And finally, the seventh instruction, gratitude. Begin to thank God now, before the fulfillment appears. Gratitude is the language of faith. It tells heaven, I believe it is already done. Gratitude creates an atmosphere where blessings flow more freely. Each thank you is a key, unlocking doors that waiting alone could never open. These instructions are not mere suggestions, they are divine strategies. If you follow them, you won't just enter the next season, you'll thrive in it. They will equip you to carry the covenant without fear, without compromise, and without collapse. Remember this, when Noah was told of the flood, he didn't wait for the rain to start building the ark. He prepared in obedience, and because he did, he carried his family through. In the same way, your preparation now is not just about you, it's about the destiny tied to your obedience. So take these instructions to heart. They are your map through transition. And as you align with them, you will discover that what once felt like waiting now feels like walking every step, carrying you closer to the fulfillment that has already been written. As the promise draws near, you may still feel waves of uncertainty. It is natural to wonder if you are ready, or if unseen forces might interfere with what God has decreed. But hear this clearly, you are not walking into this new season unguarded. Divine protection has already gone before you. The one who spoke this word over your life has also stationed His presence around you like a shield. Imagine standing in a storm, yet not a single drop touches you. That is the level of covering heaven provides. Angels are dispatched to guard your steps. The Spirit surrounds you like a fortress. Every fiery dart meant to wound your heart, every whisper of fear meant to paralyze your hope, is intercepted before it can reach you. What comes from God cannot be stolen by the enemy, and what heaven seals cannot be broken by man. You may feel pressure, but you will not be crushed. You may hear lies, but they will not take root. Even in moments of weariness, divine assurance lifts you, reminding you that you are carried, not abandoned. This covenant you are walking toward is not fragile, it has been forged in eternity. And with that protection comes peace. A peace that passes all understanding, a peace that anchors you even when circumstances feel chaotic. That peace is not weakness, it is evidence of God's presence. It whispers, "Be still, I am with you." Rest in the knowledge that you are not alone. The same God who walked with Daniel in the lion's den, who stood with the three in the fire, who parted the Red Sea for Moses, now surrounds you in this transition. Your covenant is not merely guarded by walls of faith, it is held in the palm of His hand. So breathe, release the tension of fear. Step forward knowing that no scheme, no delay, no shadow can undo what has already been written in light. You are safe, you are covered, you are sealed by divine assurance. The shift you are stepping into is more than a change of status. It is a transformation of identity. When God closes a single season and ushers you into covenant, He is not just adding someone to your life. He is expanding who you are, stretching your capacity, and unlocking dimensions of purpose that could never be reached alone. Picture a lamp burning steadily in a dark room. It gives light, but only within a certain radius. Now imagine another lamp placed beside it. The light doesn't just double, it multiplies, filling spaces that one lamp could never cover on its own. That is the power of covenant. When two destinies converge, the impact radiates outward, touching lives you never imagined your story would reach. This transformation will not just be visible to you, it will be visible to others. People who once overlooked you will see a glow they cannot deny. The peace that once only flickered in you will become a steady flame. The joy that felt fleeting will anchor deeply. And as your covenant unfolds, your testimony will speak louder than any explanation. You won't need to convince anyone of God's faithfulness. Your life will be the evidence. And with fulfillment comes healing. The scars of loneliness will no longer ache the way they once did. The questions that haunted you, why so long, why me, will fade in the light of clarity. You will understand that every delay had purpose. Every closed door had meaning. Every tear watered the soil of this very harvest. This transformation is also spiritual. As covenant takes root, your prayers will shift from survival to expansion. No longer will you cry out for God to remember you. You will declare His goodness from a place of overflow. Where once you asked for strength to endure, now you will ask for wisdom to steward abundance. Your language, your posture, your atmosphere will change, because you are no longer in waiting. You are in fulfillment. But fulfillment is not the end, it is the beginning. Just as a seed sprouting is not its final form, but its first. So your covenant will be the start of something larger. Ministries may be birthed, generations may be shaped, communities may be touched by the ripple effect of what God joins together in your life. You will discover that this covenant was never just about your happiness, it was about kingdom impact. And in that revelation, gratitude will overwhelm you. You will look back at your single season, not with bitterness but with awe. You will see how God used even the loneliness to refine you, how He turned every unanswered question into preparation, how He never left you, even when you thought He was silent. The fulfillment you are walking into is not fragile, it is rooted in eternity. It will not collapse under the weight of time, because it was never built on your effort, but on God's promise. And when it arrives, it will not just feel like an answer, it will feel like destiny itself unfolding. Take a deep breath. You've walked through the waiting, you've carried the weight of silence, and now you've heard the prophecy unfold over your life. The end of your single season is not a vague hope, it is a divine certainty. The shift is already in motion, and you are standing at the edge of fulfillment. As you step into this next chapter, let these affirmations anchor you. Speak them aloud, let them echo in your spirit, and let them shape the atmosphere around you. I am aligned with divine timing. Alon, I am prepared for covenant ordained by heaven. I am protected, covered, and strengthened for what comes next. I am walking into fulfillment with peace and gratitude. These are not just words, they are declarations. Every time you speak them, you agree with heaven's decree. Every time you repeat them, you silence the voice of doubt and amplify the voice of faith. Now receive this blessing. May the God who carried you through every lonely night, who gathered every tear, who held your heart when it felt too heavy, may He now open the floodgates of fulfillment over you. May you walk into the covenant prepared for you with confidence, knowing you are covered on every side. May peace go before you, joy surround you, and purpose expand within you. May your story become a living testimony that God is faithful, that waiting is never wasted, and that divine timing is always perfect. May the light in you grow brighter, the love in you grow deeper, and the legacy through you grow stronger. And as you step forward, may you carry this truth unshakably. Your single season has served its purpose, and now your appointed time has come. Go in peace. Go in confidence. Go in gratitude. The prophecy is sealed, the blessing is spoken, and the fulfillment is already unfolding.